여유롭게 달려와 내일은 더 빛나지 당연해 내 삶은 shine like a diamond 괜히 해서 뭐해 걱정 I got no worries.
Good evening, good evening, good evening. My name is Monique Benton. I'm founder and CEO of Embrace Your Cake, also of Sisters Inspire Sisters. We have a dynamic show for you this evening. We have our guest, Sandra Chaney, founder and CEO of Sandra Chaney Enterprises. And our topic today, and listen, we had a little conversation before this broadcast started. So our topic today, some of us, we might, our toes might get stepped on tonight. Okay. And we might have to, we might get in our feelings a little bit about how we really feel about self-care and rest. But what I appreciate is the information that Sandra has to share is going to be what I'll say, what I gathered so far is information that is life-changing. So I just want to thank everyone for joining us. Sandra, thank you so much for saying yes. Thank you for being a part of the SIS Network. I also look forward to us co-hosting together in March. So take it away. Please introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about yourself.
So, Monique, thank you so much. It is truly an honor to be here. I remember giving God an unconditional yes every year. Every year I go, God, my unconditional yes. So whatever that looks like in terms of my yes, I'm thankful. So I am Sandra Chaney. What I do is, and I always say that because what I do. So I am a 8-time best-selling author and first-time international best-selling author. I am a certified empowerment coach. Yes. I am a business and life strategist with my niche in the nonprofit world. I'm also a certified domestic violence trainer and fatherless daughter advocate. But who I am a woman who loves, who laughs, likes to have lots of fun, who likes to bring joy in her life, and who finds pleasure in resting and watching Hallmark Christmas movies.
Okay. So I am a Hallmark Christmas movie person. And I will say, and TV One and BET around the Christmas.
Yes.
I have that is, and it's interesting that you brought that up. So that brings up a question already, but I am going to wait because the topic tonight is self-care and rest. And when you think about self-care, we all have our definitions of what it means, but what does it mean to you?
So self-care means that, just like we integrate everything else in our life. Like I'm a wife, I'm also a mother, I'm a business owner, but self-care is a part of that. Self-care isn't just me going to go get my nails done and my hair done. Self-care really is me looking at myself and making sure I incorporate every single day something that is going to allow me to take care of me, whether that's working out, whether that is creating boundaries, whatever, having a cup of tea and literally watching Hallmark movies. All joke aside, but seriously, part of self-care is not just getting your nails done. I think that getting your nails and hair done is great, and that's something that we do, but you don't do that every day. So how do you incorporate that in what you do every single? We're in a culture of grind and hustle.
Yes,
we are.
Yes,
and grind and hustle doesn't allow you to do self-care. We're burning, or not me anymore, but I used to burn both ends of the candle and thought that was like a badge of honor, and it really isn't.
Yeah, what I like about what you said, and it was a confirmation for me because I'm like, okay, self-care, and we'll do post self-care Saturday. What are you doing today? And a lot of women, including myself, will say, okay, we're getting our nails done. I'm going to the nail salon, or I'm getting my hair done. But I often do take time during the week to have tea. I enjoy tea, just sitting down. I enjoy just looking through magazines. I always have to go from the back to the front, and it's very relaxing to me. And I didn't realize that is or could be a part of self-care.
Yes.
Okay,
It,
so
it
it
is. I mean, and I don't. It's because we've been taught.
Mhm.
Go get a massages. Yes,
Right,
that is something that we should always be doing. Getting our nails done. Those things are great. However, if you are a business owner or even someone who works a 9 to 5, and then you come home, you're a mom. If you're a single mom, that's even more challenging because now
right,
you're doing everything yourself. And sometimes even those of us who may be married, there are women who are in relationships where they feel like they're by themselves. How
mhm,
do you carve out time for yourself? I
right,
take baths once a week. It's not when I look up and go, oh my God, it's been 3 months and let me go take this, this salt bath or and light me a can. No, that's once a week for me. Once a week, I do that.
yeah,
I have a time where it's just bath salts and I'm listening to some kind of inspirational music or what have you. But it's once a week.
yeah.
It's not when I'm nearly exhausted because at that point you can't enjoy your time. You're exhausted.
So how did you get to this point? Because I know as an entrepreneur, and I'm an entrepreneur, I also still work part-time. I mean not part-time, I still work full-time, and I'm a full-time entrepreneur. I put time into my business. My business is very, very important to me. And I always
Hmm.
say to myself, if I can do the 9 to 5 and put the time in, I need to also put that time in into my own business and my own legacy in terms of what I'm developing. So self-care is sometimes hard for us. Even the thought of, okay, am I gonna am I gonna watch a movie? I haven't. Oh boy, I would say I've been pretty good, and it's made me feel good too. I've watched a couple of movies over the last couple of weeks on Netflix, and I noticed that that's like a big thing for me. Like, okay, you know what? I'm gonna watch something. I'm gonna watch a movie on Netflix. But how do you get to that point, and how do you feel like it's okay? It's hard for us.
Oh no, it is. I used to think that I was procrastinating because society told me I was being lazy, that I was procrastinating, that and I'm just, so mentally I had to actually change my thoughts and my process
Mhm.
about what that looks like for me. Because here, self care is different for everybody. I am intentional right now about drinking a lot of water. Right. I mean, and I used to drink water, but winter time is the hardest time for me to drink water. So I went and bought this big old jug right here. See, it's got words on it because this is part of my self care. So
Mhm.
I had to do something in order for me to like get this water in my system because I don't like to be defeated. Okay. So if I don't finish this by 8 well, now this is like my second one, but by 8 p.m., I'm like, oh my God. So I start over again the next day. I don't like to be defeated. So I
Right.
had to do things in order for me to get there, but it started in my mind. And what made it started was so years ago, I worked in corporate America and I remember going to the doctor and I thought I was having a heart attack. I literally thought I was having a heart attack. And the doctor looked at me. He said, your heart is fine. He said, but whatever's causing you stress, you
Mhm.
like that's what it is. And it was my job. I was burning both ends of the candle,
Right.
trying to move up this ladder, trying to do all these things. And I was a single mom because at this point I was divorced. So I'm doing all these things and not taking care of me. But he did say, if you don't take care of you, the
Mhm.
next time you come in here, it could be a heart attack.
Mm.
So I had to begin to put some things in place. I wasn't working out. Working out is part of self-care. Getting sweaty and releasing those endorphins, yes,
Mhm.
self-care. That
Right.
is self-care.
Right.
That prevents disease, the disease that gets in our body. And so so I had to make me a priority at that time. And I remember having this conversation with my son, and I'm like, okay, listen, buddy, we're gonna have to be a team here. I started teaching him how to wash clothes. I started teaching him how to cook little things that he could do on the stove, especially when I thought that he was and my son was very responsible. So I had to start teaching him. I had to sit down and have a conversation. Kids are more resilient than we think they are because they see we're teaching them. And so I
Right.
had to teach him, listen, when I come home from work, I'm exhausted, I'm tired, but I would go right in the kitchen. So I had to teach him how to do little things like maybe make some spaghetti with and open a can of sauce and pour it in there and heat it up. And
Right.
something as simple as that.
Right.
Self-care.
That's good. And those are things that we don't even think about. I just want to thank everyone for joining us on Facebook. We're also live on YouTube. Please like and share. And some of the comments are, yes, stress will kill you. And when you talked about the job and leaving the job, and someone said, and you will be replaced at work in a few days.
Yes. Oh my, in a heartbeat. They don't really care as long as you're getting that work done.
Right.
And but see, here's the deal though. It takes more than one time to learn a lesson. So
Right.
even though I did that, I still was in this grind mentality. I had to get stuff done because I'm a single parent. I just bought my own home, and I was proud of that. So I made material things that become important to me. I attached myself to material things, and I kept going because I had to make this certain status quo. When in the end, when you think about it, when you do that, you can't take none of that stuff with you.
Right.
Zilch.
And
I really had to think about that.
While you were talking, so I just had an aha moment because I'm thinking about some of the reasons why we stay in situations that might be stressful. And some of them could be, okay, we're not ready to go for whatever reason. If it's a job or 9 to 5, we need that income. We're afraid to lose that income, even if we're an entrepreneur. And it's all about when you talked about putting yourself first.
Yes.
And self-care is really being able to set boundaries and say, no, I'm going to do this for me, or no, this isn't working for me. And there's a connection there in terms of abundance, right? And mindset.
There is.
It is there's like a real connection. And when you start to put these little pieces together and really start to come into, okay, first of all, I do deserve abundance. I'm not afraid of money. I'm not going to run out of money. And if I make these decisions, it's not going to impact my money or the way that I live. If I make a decision to put myself first, or if I don't put 25 hours out of a day into my job and my business. So crossing that threshold, and you talked about the 6 years ago, what is it, where did the rest part, so the self-care and rest, so when is it that you were like, you know what, this is it, this is the change that I'm making, and this is going to be a lasting change? How do we also make it sustainable?
So I've been in business full time since 2003, and I'm not even going to tell you that it's been easy, because it hasn't. Entrepreneurship is not for the faint of heart. It isn't.
I know, that's right. Exactly.
Listen, it's not. I mean, what you see on Facebook, some of it is true, some of it isn't for some people. But the people you see that really are successful, trust, they probably had 10, 15 years of like this, up and down before they, finally became successful and what we deem successful. So in 2009, I remember that I heard this voice, and I tell people, I'm a God chaser, I'm a God lover. That's just who I am, right? And so I heard a voice telling me to do something, and I didn't do it. And not doing it caused me so much pain and doubt, and it turned my world upside down. And I'm going, how did I end up? It was like everything that I thought I knew and believed in just got thrown to the to the wolves, if you will. And I remember asking God, okay, why am I in this space? I halted everything because mentally I could not even fathom how I ended up being hurt like this. But what I discovered is it takes two to tango. And it was people hurt, it was church hurt. And I remember saying to God, what? Because God's, and I remember clearly God saying, because you weren't listening. So I had to get your attention. And the attention was, you got to get yourself together mentally. Because all the things that you're doing, that society says you are doing, you don't have to do. You don't have to do it this way. You don't have to grind. And by the way, let me tell you what grind means. Reduce something to small particles or powder by crushing it. Why would you want to grind like that? I don't want to be in a grind mode. So I was like, oh, so I felt like I had hit my rock bottom with that because I didn't hear the lesson the first time when I went to the doctor. Okay. I didn't hear it a second time when I ended up in, because I did end up in the hospital with something that was killing me on the inside. Didn't hear it then either. So I guess God was like, maybe 3 times is a charm for her. And I'm like, I remember saying to God, but society says if you don't do this, you don't do that.
Right.
What does God say? Who are you in the midst of this? Because at the end of the day, for me, it was like, I don't want to live my life in a place where I'm grinding and I'm hustling, where, those are the 2 words. I don't want to be a hustler. I don't want to be in this work. No, I'm not a hustler.
Right.
No shade to everybody else who wants to do that, but I don't.
Right.
And so I said, God, tell me how to do this. And one of the things was I had to get my mind right. Unless you start working on your mind, you're going to keep falling back into those traps. You have got to work on your mind and change how you think, because your thoughts become actions eventually. Right. What's in here comes out of here, and you begin to do it. So I had to literally work on Sandra mentally and emotionally.
Wow.
That's how I got to this place of, I'm not procrastinating. Now, when you're actually procrastinating. We know when we're procrastinating, but we also know when we just need to sit down and rest. That was the hardest thing for me, Monique, was to sit and not do anything, because I didn't know how not to do that.
Right. Right. That's why I'm like, that changed. But now you explained it. It was the 3rd time. The 3rd time. You didn't listen the first or the second, but that 3rd time, they say the 3rd time is a charm, but that 3rd time you said that's it.
Now, because I had lost a lot, or at least in my mind, I had lost a lot. People that I were close to me, it like my world was turned upside down. I'm going, how did I get here? Like, I had lost my faith. I lost all of that. I was like, what? I mean, seriously, it was one of those things where I felt like I had hit my own rock bottom, but I needed to go there so that I can take a good look at me. I needed to face me. And you're not going to get there until you are able to look you in the mirror and face you, all your failures. And failure there's nothing wrong with failure. It's a stepping stone to lessons. But I had to face me in order to get to a place of self-care and rest. Self-care is looking at yourself in the mirror and saying, what was the lesson in that? What was I to learn so I don't repeat that lesson? Because I didn't repeat it 3 times already, and we're not doing this again.
Right. Exactly. Exactly. And what has the difference been for you? So once you decided to rest, and we still have to get to rest, and once you decided, this is how I'm going to live now, what has been the difference?
So the difference for me has been, honestly, my time is my time. I put myself first before I do anything, whatever that looks like for me in the morning. It could be, of course, my meditation and my prayer before I do anything. I don't get on the phone. I have conversation with anybody first thing in the morning, because I can't help you until I help me.
Right.
I used to get on the phone, grab my phone, see what's on Facebook, see who needed, or if I had a text, I don't even look at a text. I don't answer the phone. I don't do any of that. As a matter of fact, my phone is on do not disturb until I'm ready to take it off.
That's good.
Literally. That's what I do so that I can spend time. It could be me just sitting with a cup of coffee in the morning, which I love my coffee in the morning, and not because it makes me awake. I just like coffee, and I'll
Me
sit
too.
and look out the window, but because I have trees and stuff like that, and I'll get lost in meditation. It could be hours.
Yeah.
That is what I do now before I get my day started. And what has happened for me now is that when I speak a thing, it
Mhm.
happens abundantly
Wow.
because my vibration is now high.
Okay. Now I need to listen. That's what my did y'all get those gems? But wait, and this is what I got at the beginning of the conversation when I talked about abundance. And I hope that our audience is really understanding that connection. When you speak a thing now, it happens, and you are in alignment in terms of this is what I want. I mean, when everything starts to come full circle, right? In terms of your mindset, in terms of
Mhm.
abundance, in terms of being able to put yourself first and take those necessary steps. And the key thing in there is listening. You finally listen. So we're all right. There's an anointing on all of us. So a
Yes.
lot of times God speaks to us and we just be like, okay, no, not ready. Sending clear messages and we just
Oh my God.
to
Yes.
ignore them. Okay. So finally he got your attention the third time. And then it's
Yes.
like, wow, I got here and now look at what's happening. So if you could just because that has to be, I mean, this is important. Like this is important for us to get and for women to get, even in terms of being able to prosper in your business and in life and to be wealthy, not just in terms of finances, but of thoughts and of living and of well-being. If you could just really talk about that connection of speaking a thing and wanting a thing and it happening.
Yes.
Yes, and abundance and just yes, if you could
You know,
just
I mean, let me just tell you, alignment is so key, but
yeah,
you're not going to be aligned. See, everybody wants to get to the six figures, or as they say, secure that bag.
right.
That's the end result.
Mhm.
The money is the end result. Can you be in a space of alignment where you're at peace, even in the midst of your chaos?
Right.
Because if you can be at peace in the midst of your, no matter what it looks like, because you're like, okay, it's out of my control. There's nothing I had to get there. I can't tell you how many times I think God tested me, honestly, to see if I really was, really believing what I was saying out of my mouth.
Right.
But I have been put in those situations where I'm like, you know what? It's out of my control. Yes, I'm gonna feel what I feel. Let me just say this: feel what you feel, because you're
Right.
human beings. I felt,
Right.
I've cried, I've cussed, I've done all those things. And once I move that energy, I'm like, all right, well, it's out of my control now. So guess what? I'm gonna have this cup of coffee. I'm gonna sit here and I'm
Right.
gonna look at these trees. And I love nature. I'm gonna take a walk in nature. I'm gonna sit, but
Right.
I live near water and nature. I'm gonna go sit out on that bench and just get because what? There's nothing I can do. So
Right.
let me raise my vibration.
Right.
Let me be like, okay, and let me speak what I want to see. Once I move the energy, let me speak what I want to see happen. And guess what? It may not happen right then and there, but I know it's going to and sometimes
Yeah.
it does happen like that. And then sometimes it may take a month or two, but it's going to happen
Yeah.
because you're staying in that state of peace, that
Yes.
state of abundance, and you're not concerned about how this is going to happen. I've had to learn to let go of the attachment emotionally to things,
Right.
because it may not work out the way I want it to work out, but it's going to work out for my highest good. And that's what I always say:
Right.
God, thank you, because I already know it's going to work out for my highest good. That means
Right.
I'm trusted,
Right.
because I've already seen what it looks like when I don't trust. I don't want that
Right.
no more.
Right.
I
Right.
don't want that. So let me get in this space.
Yeah.
And even if I'm on a job that I can't stand,
Mhm.
change your tune with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I may not like this job, but at the moment, is that job paying your bills?
Right. Right.
Is that job
Yeah.
providing a roof over your head?
Right.
See it as a stepping stone and an investment into your next. So you
Right.
got to change your words and your thought.
Yeah.
That's also a part of self-care. When you change your thought and your words, because that's what I had to do, everything else will flow and follow.
Right. And then becoming at peace with whatever the situation is, knowing, I mean, what I usually say is, you know what, God, you know the outcome already.
Yep.
And I know that whatever the outcome is, that it's for my good. So I'm gonna roll with it. I'm gonna
But
roll
it's the
with
but it's the words.
it.
It's like aligning
Yeah.
this,
Yes.
and your all of it, aligning all of it together. And
Yeah.
again, I'm gonna go back and reiterate. I'm not saying that it is not going to hurt. I'm
Right.
not saying that you can't cry. Of course, you need to feel what you feel, but
Right.
don't sit there too long.
That's
Because
right.
if you sit there too
Yeah.
long, then you're moaning, then you're complaining because what you want, because you go, well, God, I prayed and I asked for this and it didn't happen. Okay, but where has your thought process been?
That's right.
Where has your alignment been? What have you been saying out of your mouth? All
Right.
of those things matter. So you call your best girlfriend and you vent that joker out and you
Right.
write it and you do a brain dump, right?
That's
And
right.
then do what you got to do and then go, okay, so all right, God, this is what I want to see happen. This is, and I'm trusting you because my faith is expecting this to happen, because guess what, we are that powerful. We're
Right.
more powerful than we think we are, that we can speak a
Right.
thing and it will happen. And I've seen that, in my own life. And I'm gonna give you a perfect example. So the last 5 months, I was in a horrific car accident and I had to completely shut my business down. Like, completely shut it down from
Yeah.
July. I'm just now getting back up on my feet, literally. And I'm a full-time entrepreneur. Yes, people go, well, you're married.
Mhm.
That ain't got nothing to do with it.
Mhm.
I'm just saying, people go, well,
Right.
you have a husband. Yeah. And I still got to do what I need to do for me at the end of
Right.
the day. So, but prior to that, this is how God works though. Prior to that, um, I was helping a client do some things, and I was listening and in prayer, and God told me, two people called me and said, "You need to go apply for this grant, or you need to go and do this." And
Yeah.
I was just like, "I've learned." I go, "Okay." I said, "God, I don't know if but I'm going to go ahead because I feel like in my spirit you're telling me to do this." So I did. I gave no thought to it. I kept
Yeah.
it moving. I was like, I'm going to go ahead and apply. Don't you know? I got both grants, right?
Wow.
Both of them. But here's the thing that's so interesting. Now I still had my clients. So it's not like I was really hurting for money. But did I know I was going to have to shut my business down for 5 months? I did not. Those grants carried me through those 5 months
Wow.
and still carrying me
Wow. See.
because I was in alignment.
Yes, I absolutely love it. And it is so key just to talk about all of those things. And we are just about at the end of the show, but I want to talk about, could you please talk about the rest?
Okay, yes. So
Yes.
rest is highly important. You can't do anything without rest. It goes hand in hand with self care. Take those naps during the daytime. If you we especially as women, everybody is pulling on us. If we're a mom, whether you have little kids or grown kids, they pulling on you 24. I'm just saying, you're a wife, you're a mom. But when do you find time to just take that moment to rest? I used to I remember one time I slept in and I jumped up. I was like, oh my God, I done slept in. I done wasted the day away. No, my body said to me, you needed to sleep
Yeah.
because I was exhausted. Rest is abundance because when you're resting,
Mhm.
your organs and your cells are regenerating. Cells regenerate when you are resting, not 2 hours, but getting a full night's sleep of rest. And if your body doesn't wake you up until 10 or 11 o'clock, best believe it's because you needed the rest,
Yeah.
right? Even on the weekend, take the time you need. And sometimes rest may be, I've taken a 10-minute cat nap and
Mhm.
I was rejuvenated after that because there was nothing I could do. I shut everything down. My brain was like, I can't take no more. I
Yeah.
don't care how much you do, you can't, because you make mistakes. If you don't rest, it is costly for your business because you're going to make some mistakes.
And it's okay to rest and not feel guilty about it. What
Yes.
is this stigma with feeling guilty for resting and for self-care? Why is
Because of the culture that we live in. We live in the United States where the culture is you got to work.
right?
It's like if you don't work, you don't eat. That is true. But if I don't take care of myself, I'm going to die.
Right.
So you have to find that balance of rest. So if you're a single parent, when you come, like I had to talk to my son.
Yeah.
Listen, I just give me 10 minutes. When I come home, let me just get my 10 minutes.
Yes. Yeah.
Sometimes all you need is 10 minutes. I'm not saying take a whole hour. Give yourself 10 minutes to breathe, to kick them shoes off, to sit in that chair and do absolutely nothing for 10 minutes when you come home.
Exactly.
Give yourself time in the morning on a Saturday when everybody's like, girl, guess what I did today? I wrote 5 chapters in my book. I was up at 4:30. Good for you. I didn't get to bed till 12 o'clock. And I'm still good too.
last Saturday, I got up early and it was like 7 and I laid back down. Sandra, I kid you not, when I got up, it was about 1 o'clock. I was like, what happened? Where did the day go? And I realized that my body was like, oh no, you're not doing anything today. That's it.
Exactly.
That's it.
And it's okay.
Yes. And I
in Europe, they take 2-hour siestas during work time. They don't call things vacations. They go, I'm going on holiday, because then we're not vacating from anything. Vacations like you're vacating from something. You're not vacating. They go, we're going, and they take 6-week holidays. We're the only country where we are grinding and hustling, and it's not necessary.
Right.
It's just not. And I, for one, am okay. I'm in a space now where I'm good with it. I may take a whole day and do nothing. To be quite honest, I think I've worked 2 days out of this entire week. The rest of it, I have literally been resting my body, literally. But I've been getting stuff done. I get more accomplished now than when I was grinding.
Yeah, this is good. So, Sandra, how can you tell us, one, we need to know how to get in touch with you, even though your website is across the screen. There are a number of things that you can do for the women in the audience or men that want to learn more about the self-rest and the coaching. How can you help us? What can you do? What services do you offer?
So I do have, one-on-one coaching for those who want, to just work with me individually. They can go to my website, sandrachaney.com, because everything is on there, even how to get with me on Instagram, on IG, and on Facebook, and on LinkedIn, even my YouTube channel. But I do one-on-one. And here's the deal about the one-on-one for me. I think I'm a different creature in that I say creature because sometimes I do feel that way. Everybody is unique and different. So it's not that I have this one set way of doing things. I trust my discernment and how we talk. So it's like you get a consultation with me to see how we can work well together. It's a free consultation. And then from there, we talk about what your need is, and then we work together from that point. That is how I do it, because everybody is unique and different. Right. I don't believe a one size fits all. This ain't a one size fit all kind of world that we live in. It's just not. It's completely different. And I prefer to work that way because we are all unique. Right. And how we view the world and how we do our business and how we do life is uniquely different. And I use every aspect of my experience and my experiences. I am very transparent, and I use every part of my lessons to help other people.
I absolutely love that. So I have enjoyed this entire conversation, and only thing I'm thinking about this now, and it would be so good to, and this is something even we can think about for the sis group. It would be so good just to even see a map or see it on paper, how that self-care, that rest and abundance and vision and manifestation all come together, and belief and faith. So this was good. I mean, of course, I'm going back. I do the same thing all the time. I'm ready for notes, and I'm just so engrossed in the conversation, I can't stop to write the notes because I don't want to miss anything. So I definitely will be watching the replay. All of our listeners, the audience, thank you so much. Listen, you can catch the replay on YouTube, on Facebook. Please join us, sistersinspiresisters.com. If you're not a part of the Facebook group, please join the Sis Facebook group. And please listen, sandrachaney.com. You heard some amazing information and nuggets today about rest. And ladies, I learned something too. Self-care is not just self-care Saturdays going to get your nails done. And yes, I do that, and we post about it.
Mhm.
It's not just getting your hair done. It could be simply sitting down, having a cup of tea, sitting outside, becoming one with nature. And we don't, say it for us again, Sandra, we don't have to hustle or
Grind at all.
amen. Amen. And we can still get things done without the hustle and without the grind. Thank you so much. From Sisters Inspire Sisters, we had a great evening. Sandra, once again, thank you. I'm looking forward to co-hosting with you in March.
Yes.
If you are interested in becoming a guest on Sisters Inspire Sisters, please go to our website. And if you're interested in also co-hosting, think about becoming a Sis Network member. Once again, this is Monique Denton Davis. Thank you for joining us and have a great evening. Good night.